grifters. One Nation is not just another political party. They are a racist movement dressed up in electoral clothing.
Racist, the word doesn't work anymore. Racist doesn't work anymore.
I have spent a decade taking them on, in Parliament, in the streets, in the courts. I'm not done yet.
You are looking at a pretty dodgy mindset.
Yep.
Faruqi spends half her time preaching about diversity, tolerance and democratic values, yet the very second a party challenges her worldview, her immediate instinct is censorship. It is flat out hypocritical.
And that's what I keep saying. These radical left people, they are communist dictator. They are the fascists, taking government by force. We are democracy. We are voting. Australians are voting. That's why One Nation is on the rise. And she wants to ban us being able to vote who we want to. And she calls us the extremists. Oceania Unfiltered, the ultimate green stitch-up, moving to prohibit and criminalise One Nation in Australia. So it's about the Greens Party, Faruqi, yes, we know her, trying to ban One Nation, criminalise her. This guy's great. Oh, that's good. Let's check him out. Let's see what he's saying.
Nation is not just another political party. They are a racist movement dressed up in electoral clothing.
If you put Australia first, you're racist. We've heard it a million times.
Imagine sitting in a national parliament, looking straight into a camera and telling the public that the absolute best way to defend democracy is to ban your political opponents from even having a crack at an election.
Yep.
Make no mistake.
And they call us the fascists. When the woke and the Greens literally want to arrest other political parties or make them illegal. That's what fascism is, Faruqi.
If you value a multicultural country, its neighbourhoods, its culture, its economy, One Nation wants to take all that away from you and turn us into a small, bleak and bland society.
No, they don't. You can still be multiracial, but you have to be monocultural, Australian first. You have to come here to assimilate to be Australian. The twisting of these people.
Swallowing up our richness and vibrancy.
You'd think someone was taking the mickey, wouldn't you? But that is exactly the circus playing out in the Australian Senate right now. Senator Mehreen Faruqi had stood up and essentially demanded that the One Nation party be scrubbed from the ballot.
She's a fascist, communist extremist. That's what Faruqi is.
She reckons they aren't a proper political party, but just a hateful movement dressed up in electoral clothing.
Also, make no mistake, the conditions for the far right to flourish have been provided courtesy of Labour, who have wasted their majority government, failing to make people's lives better, instead dog whistling and scapegoating migrants.
And you think the Greens are going to get it better? It's going to be so much worse.
Now, when a politician decides that the voting public over in Australia just can't be trusted to make up their own minds, you are looking at a pretty dodgy mindset.
Yep.
Faruqi spends half her time preaching about diversity, tolerance and democratic values, yet the very second a party challenges her worldview, her immediate instinct is censorship. It is flat out hypocritical.
And that's what I keep saying. These radical left people, they are communist dictator. They are the fascists, taking government by force. We are democracy. We are voting. Australians are voting. That's why One Nation is on the rise. And she wants to ban us being able to vote who we want to. And she calls us the extremists.
That is not democracy. That sounds a lot more like the heavy-handed regimes people flee from to find a bit of freedom and a fair go in places like Australia.
Where she wants to send all our money back to. She hates Australia. Oh, yeah. She wants to send money to Pakistan. Yeah, she does. She wants to send money for Pakistan because of climate change. Like, what?
Yeah. If you genuinely reckon your political opponents have got it completely wrong, the democratic solution is to defeat them in a debate. You step up, you make your case, and you let the voters decide. You don't just chuck a wobbly and try to outlaw them. When politicians start dictating which boxes the public is legally allowed to tick on a ballot paper, they are wandering into territory that fails the pub test by a country mile.
One Nation is not an anti-establishment party. They are billionaire-funded grifters. One Nation is not just another political party. They are a racist movement dressed up in electoral clothing.
Racist. The word doesn't work anymore. Racist doesn't work anymore.
I have spent a decade taking them on, in Parliament, in the streets, in the courts. I'm not done yet.
The tactic they are using here is completely transparent, and honestly, regular Australians are waking up to it. Anyone over there who raises a hand to question the massive levels of migration, the insane pressure on the housing market, or the obvious drop in social cohesion gets immediately smeared. The Greens throw around...
They try to use the word racist to hope you will not speak up. That's what they try and do. Karen, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the community. You can watch all the live streams back now. And we do have lots of members' videos up all the time. Thank you so much for joining and supporting the community. Yeah, the Greens, though, they just use the racist word, but it doesn't work anymore. When you're getting robbed with machetes, the racist word doesn't work anymore when you speak up against it. Panic. Definition: Greens, rich public servants trying to tell people how to run your company based on global warming and or on communist socialists in disguise. Exactly. That's true. Thank you so much, Panic. The multi-millionaires like Faruqi with multiple properties, like Faruqi, and then she gets the university children who have been indoctrinated to hate their own country, and they go, yes, we need to fight, while they're multimillionaires off of our taxpayer money. Like, it's crazy. They're communist socialists, which means take the money off everyone. Champagne socialists. They're happy to be rich as long as you're not richer than them. Then they want to take you down.
Incredibly heavy labels so frequently and so carelessly that the words are rapidly losing their actual meaning. Faruqi claims that without their specific government-mandated multiculturalism, Australia would just be a small, bleak and bland society. That is an astonishingly dismissive way to speak about a nation that welcomed her, gave her...
That's a really good fact he just said. To call Australian culture bland and small and shit is disgraceful. I didn't think about that. That's literally what she's saying. If you want Australian culture only, not every other culture taking over suburbs. Oh, look at that shit culture. Because that's what Faruqi thinks of us, in my opinion.
Incredible opportunities and eventually a seat in its Senate.
Yep.
If Australia was genuinely this deeply intolerant wasteland that she constantly paints it as, how on earth did she get elected to one of the highest offices in the land? The narrative just doesn't stack up against reality. The folks fighting for alternatives over there are not bad people, simply because they want sustainable borders and cities that actually function. They just want to make sure the roads, the hospitals, and the infrastructure can handle the sheer volume of people, while ensuring the foundational culture and values of the country stay intact.
That's everything she wants to destroy. She doesn't want Australian culture. We know that. That's why she only cares about sending money overseas and caring about that. She thinks we're all racists. That's what she keeps saying. While she's in one of the lead positions in the country, how can it be racist when she's one of the leaders of the country? I don't know fucking how, but she is. It's crazy.
Today, One Nation is a willing tool of international far-right organisations, an international dark operation that seeks to divide Australians and undermine our very democracy and the institutions that serve our country.
Yet, raising those basic common sense points in Australia instantly makes you a target for these hysterical pylons.
How delusional are these Green senators that because you don't want mass immigration, you don't want crime going through the roof, our roads can't handle it, our hospitals can't handle it, we have no housing, you're branded a racist, Nazi, extremist, fascist. Like, why? Why? They never have an argument. That's why they just use the word racist to try and silence people. It's crazy.
One Nation isn't proposing to kick out existing citizens. They are arguing for a massive reduction in migration so the major cities can catch their breath and the housing market can stabilise. But instead of actually engaging with the reality of the crisis, Faruqi and her colleagues just shout out buzzwords to shut the whole conversation down. And it is not just her doing it either. The sheer panic setting in among the Australian Greens is obvious right across the board.
The Greens are set to lose all their seats, that's why. That's why.
The AI slop we see from One Nation featuring Australian flags and laugh emoji patriotism. One Nation is Israel first, the United States and Donald Trump second, Senator Hanson herself third,
That's not
and the
true.
rest of us dead last.
All these bloody radicals know how to do, if you question them, straight to Israel. Like, no one even mentioned them. Why are you bringing them up, you fucking weirdo? That's so weird.
They are the emerging face of fascism in this country, and the Greens are here to fight them.
Call One Nation fascists for winning with democracy. So they want to ban One Nation, another political party, and they call One Nation the fascists. I don't think they know what the words... I don't think they know what they are. I don't think they know.
Couple and this, another Greens senator, Sarah Hanson-Young, recently launched a dramatic attack against One Nation, straight up accusing them of foreign interference to undermine Australian institutions. Her evidence for this grand conspiracy? She reckons they're involved in spreading deep fake political internet memes. You couldn't write this stuff. There was zero actual evidence presented to verify any sort of coordinated foreign campaign.
And I would ask,
Now here we go.
Senator Pauline Hanson and her One Nation party just how involved they are in a number of these deep fake accounts and deep fake material that is circulating online.
You know who's got the fucking fake accounts? The fucking left-wing people. I have random people comment on my videos on Facebook. I check their account. They've got no friends, no posts, no nothing. And it's just all... And there's mass posts. Carly actually did a video on it of how many fake mass accounts there are on Facebook from these left-wing lunatics trying to shut everyone down.
It looks suspiciously like the Greens are just dead set envious of One Nation's success on social media.
Because we have real supporters. Australians sticking up together.
And the grassroots support they're getting from everyday Aussies. When the establishment parties realise they can't control the narrative online anymore, they suddenly decide it must be the work of shadowy foreign spies. It is just a convenient excuse, so they don't have to admit that a massive chunk of ordinary Australians are fed up to the back teeth with being lectured.
Are they involved? Who's paying for them? And what is their connection?
There's no one paying. Australians are just speaking up because we're tired of being called racist for not wanting to be attacked with a machete and not wanting mass immigration. Like, they're so melting down. Like, how can people support Australian culture? That's racist.
Now, I understand. I can see Senator Hanson right here.
They're going to outlaw One Nation and their supporters, I bet. Yeah, I know. I've been waiting for them to try and arrest Pauline or something.
Sitting in the chamber. What is she going to say about this piece of legislation? Because I put it to you, Mr. Deputy President, that One Nation is up to their neck with foreign interference and political meddling in this country.
Up.
And they are using the technology.
Senator Alan Bot followers trolling everyone. How rude.
The irony of the Greens suddenly kicking up a stink about foreign interference is completely off the charts. If you want to talk about global agendas shaping local politics, you only need to look at the Greens' own track record. They are perfectly happy to push legislative frameworks that align directly with the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Whether it's massive climate mandates that send local manufacturing to the wall or global migration pacts their playbook rarely seems to prioritise the bloke in the street.
No,
As a matter of
they don't want Australian culture. The Greens have gone to like some freaking globalist government agenda that hates Australian culture and all Western culture.
In fact, Sarah Hanson-Young herself was, she was actually celebrated as a young global leader by the WEF back in 2016. It is a bit rich to champion agendas crafted in places like Switzerland by unelected bureaucrats and then turn around and accuse your domestic rivals of foreign interference over a few cheeky memes.
Senator Hanson-Young has just made reference to foreign interference. The thing is that Senator Hanson-Young, they would dearly love to have my social media that I have. They probably know. I'm over 1 million viewers that are organic on my Facebook page alone, over 1 million views, followers. So they'd dearly love to have that. So what's happening?
And they're melting down about that. They hate that Pauline's got support. That it has to be fake. How can people support Australian culture? Michelle, thank you, X. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support.
Foreigners are actually piggybacking on our social account.
See, every time Pauline speaks in Parliament, these radical left-wing freaks just try to yell over top of her. Because they don't want her to speak. That's why they want to be fascist and get rid of One Nation. It's crazy.
So they're on our followers.
They look in the mirror, see their own globalist ties, and then project that exact behaviour straight onto their opponents. What you're seeing in Australia right now is a clear clash between a political elite that feels absolutely entitled to rule and a general public that is finally catching on to the grift. Millions of people over there are no longer buying the fantasy that endless, unstructured immigration and two-tier political systems are somehow untouchable. They see their grocery bills going through the roof, their neighbourhoods changing overnight, and the traditions that built a safe, prosperous nation being mocked by the very politicians whose massive salaries they pay. The ordinary Australians doing the hard yucca, the ones working the land, running the small businesses and paying the taxes, are being told by out-of-touch senators that their everyday worries are illegitimate.
Yep.
It is arrogant, it is deeply dismissive, and it is exactly why alternative parties are getting such a fair run right now.
You'll get over it. If you actually do get the support from the public, maybe you might get over 1 million followers on your Facebook page.
Why do they kick them out, ban them? I'm fucking sick of these radicals yelling over Pauline because they don't want to let Aussies have a voice.
Order, senators, please.
You only wish
we
to
understand
have the followers
everyone's
that I have.
very.
The Greens seem to offer absolutely nothing to the people who actually keep the lights on in Australia.
Because they're only about overseas and net zero rubbish.
Instead, they operate like a perpetual grievance factory, dodging questions about undisclosed political donations while trying to ban anyone who points out their logical failures. You simply can't claim to be the great defender of democracy while actively trying to strip voters of their choices at the ballot box. The Australian public deserves a fair dinkum debate on these massive issues, not a bunch of politicians trying to rig the game before the whistle even blows. If the Greens were genuinely confident in their vision for Australia, they wouldn't need to ban the competition. They are panicking, and anyone with half a brain can... I'd really love to hear what you reckon about all this. Drop a comment down below and let me know your take on politicians trying to ban their opponents. If you got something out of this video, do me a favour and hit the like button, share it around and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you the facts. Catch you next time.
Legend. That was a really good video. Definitely subscribe to him. I'll link it in the chat again. But yes, the Greens don't have any arguments. They try to just use buzzwords. They try to call One Nation fascist when they're doing it through democracy, when they want to ban One Nation. That's literally fascism, trying to stop other political parties through force. And then they just call you racist for not wanting mass immigration and not pointing out the real problems going on in the country. And then they try and claim everyone's a bot. Like, obviously, we're not bots here. Everyone's nearly green. It's fucking just ridiculous. Absolutely no logic.